5 guys are designated on each side of the football. Obviously on offense, it's probably going to be your quarterback. On the defense, we're kind of working through who exactly those guys are going to be. During the play, only one person with the helmet inside, with the comms inside their helmet, can be on the field at a time. Those helmets are designated by this green dot, coach to player green dot here on the back. It is the responsibility of the officials. The back judge, I believe, is the one that's responsible for identifying if 2 guys are on the field at one time. So that it's our responsibility as equipment staff. Obviously, offensively with the quarterbacks, if there's a change there, that's pretty easy. Usually a stoppage of play. With the defense, it's something we're working through. We've got to have 2 helmets for every guy defensively that is going to be designated in one of these, and making sure we're aware of personnel changes and all that type of stuff going on the field, so that, say, Austin Keys and Eugene both have one in their helmet, only one of them can go out there with their comms and their helmet at a time. And then just being aware of what's going on, when Coach Durkin and the defensive staff is making subs and changes, of being able to make sure that, if someone's going on the field when Keys is on the field with his comm, if he's coming off, making sure the guy that's going on the field has his helmet with comms in it. How that works is it's just really installed inside the helmet, and you guys can take pictures of it. But there's a pad we put over it to make sure it stays in place, but then it's just like a comms unit in here. And then we charge and attach a battery to it. When that happens, it then becomes live, and what it does is then you have a radio that is connected to our coaches' headsets, and then all he has to do, press this little button, and you guys can hear the comms coming out of the helmet. Obviously in the college game, there's not as much huddling going on as in the NFL. It's something that the coaching staff is working through of, do you huddle more? Do you try and slow the game down so that you can just talk to the player on the field offensively? Obviously with the Connor Stallion stuff and the sign stealing and all that with Michigan, this has been a very prevalent thing in college football to get it passed. It does cut off during games at the 15-second mark on the play clock. There is a cutoff switch upstairs near the coach's booth, and there's GSC is the company that the SEC contracted with. All of the SEC schools have the same communication unit inside the helmet from that company. They will have techs at each game on Saturday running that cutoff unit. Their sole responsibility is to look at the play clock. The moment that the play clock hits 15, they hit a switch and it cuts off.
They'll be on the whole photo then.
Oh yeah, both sides cut off at the same time.
Both sides cut off at the same time. So in the unit, there's an offensive unit and a defensive unit, or a home unit and an away unit, excuse me, that company has coordinated frequencies for. So I have a list of, you can turn these to different channels, right? So our home channel is different than when we go on the road to Georgia, and that's all been coordinated through the company, and they will have techs on site making sure that 2.5 hours before the game, I believe, we have a meeting with them to make sure that all of the comms are working, everything's good to go, and ready for the game. I'm sure it's something we're all working through. I'm sure there will be, you get into the middle of games and it gets hectic and all of that type of stuff. I'm sure there will be some days that there's a lot of intense conversations going on about the fuzziness of it or whatnot, but it's something that we as an equipment staff are working through, and so far in camp it's been something that we've used and it's been really, really good so far.
Medical Properties Trust, at the very heart of healthcare.